Did you see her in Grease?
Of course.
Of course, everybody saw Grease. Do you remember where
That's
you
why I
were
watched
when you
Sanity.
watched Grease?
Drive-in theater.
You were at a drive-in theater, the movie Grease. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Don Farrell. I am one of the co-founders of Actors Theater of Indiana, and I'm thrilled to see you back here. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us and on lunchbox, I keep doing that. Lunch break with ATI, our video podcast. And visiting with us today is the wonderful, lovely, and talented Samantha LaMar. And we're going to talk a little bit about all things Carmel, everything that's going on with Carmel, everything that's going on in physical fitness, wellness, and things like that. And also our upcoming production, musical of Violet, by Brian Crawley and Janine Tesori, which opens October 28th and goes through November 13th. We're very, very excited about that. But first of all, yes, Samantha, welcome to ATI. I know Samantha's a very, very special, she's my girlfriend also, so I'm a little nervous. It's like normally I never get nervous because I'm excited to interview people that are so many different people of different walks and backgrounds and everything like that. And no, but I get a little nervous now because of our relationship.
You know how I feel when I do my show and you're there.
That's right. She is the executive producer and co-host of Podcast on the Plaza, and that's how I got to know Samantha. We were through Aaron Stanton. He came. Meg met Aaron Stanton of Synergize. He's one of the founders of Synergize, which is a great group here in Carmel. And so then Meg introduced Aaron to ATI, and through that, Meg also introduced me to Samantha. So thank you very much, Meg Gates Osborne, for introducing me to this lovely woman.
I think everybody's connected to Meg in some way.
She's kind of, yeah.
And Aaron now, too.
And Aaron, yeah, very much kind of like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's 6 degrees of Meg Gates Osborne.
Here in Carmel.
Here in Carmel, definitely. Yeah. So, and then we met for coffee, and she was talking to me about I was going to be a guest of hers on her video podcast, which is every Friday morning on Facebook. Go to Podcast on the Plaza, and from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you get to know all things that are happening in Carmel, but also sometimes a little bit outside.
We go
outside
right? of the bubble every now and then, because there are other places that exist that are doing great things and have great people, so we bring people in from all over, but have a connection to Carmel.
Yeah, and how did that come about? How did you get the idea to do podcast? Of which, just so I also let you know, this is kind of tied in also, we're going to talk about Violet. But she's been promoting Violet on almost ever since we announced we were going to be doing Violet. This is one of the shows that I don't want to speak for you, but it sounds like you're quite excited about that's coming up, and we really appreciate you helping spread the word about this really, really special musical, a journey. All of us are on a journey, don't you think?
I hope so.
I think so. Yeah.
What else do you do?
Right.
You're not living if you're not on a journey.
Yeah.
Well, I've always when we started the podcast, it was about Synergize. It was about bringing people on and letting people listen in and watch how we interact with each other in Synergize. Because people probably even now, like, what's Synergize? And you can't really describe it. It's hard to put in words, so you just have to experience it.
Right.
And the podcast was created to give people an opportunity to experience and listen in on how we are as a family and the relationships we build. And it's more than just a chamber of commerce or a networking group. And that's how it got started, but it ended up growing into something more about Carmel, because of course a lot of people from Carmel are part of Synergize. And then in that, it was like, what makes Carmel such a great place to live? Always the number one place to live, in the top 10 places to live and raise a family and have a business. And ultimately, it came down to the investment in the arts. So that became really important to us, to make sure that we were bringing people on who were working in the city towards making the arts available here, instead of having to go to Chicago or New York or LA. You have it right here in Carmel, Indiana, with the Center for Performing Arts and with the Actors Theater of Indiana, what you guys are doing. And we got to meet people who helped us understand why we should be involved and why we want to go to these shows. And meeting you and Cindy, you guys were getting ready to, I can't remember what you were getting ready to do. You had Lombardi.
And prior to that, we were doing, oh my goodness, help me out, y'all. I can't remember what was the first show before. Which, let's see, where is our, there's Lombardi, Always Patsy Cline was before Lombardi, so maybe we were talking about Always Patsy Cline leading up to Lombardi.
You had your Sinatra tribute.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we talked about. But anyway, you and Cindy were really good at describing Actors Theater of Indiana, or opening up our eyes to what it was, because I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought it was like a civic theater.
Mm.
And to understand, and so to me, the mission was to help people understand what we really have here, the treasures that we have here at the Center of Performing Arts, and it's more than what people know. And so I want to bring people on like you and any of the actors and actresses to kind of educate. So our mission is to inform, educate, and entertain. And so educating is really important. Educating the residents of Carmel, Indiana, as to why we want to make sure that we're continuing to support the arts here in Carmel. Why that's important, because that's what it's that investment. We've had the mayor on talking about it, different people talking about how that investment puts us on the map and makes people want to live here. So it's important that we support that financially. So we look for support on budgets and things like that to make sure that we have a nice, healthy budget for the arts, so that everybody is able to take their gifts and talents and use it towards continuing to make this such a great place to live. So we brought on Jeff McDermott, which I'm hoping to have on in the next couple of weeks to talk about what's going on.
He just got married. Congratulations,
He
Jeff.
might be a little busy. I asked him this Friday, but he acts like he's got some important job, being CEO and president of the Center for Performing Arts. But he came on and talked last year about budgets and things, and try to encourage our city council members to vote to increase the budget. And then he gave us, and he was really good at informing and educating us on what goes on and what the backstories are for people who are working in the industry here. And it's not, you're a non-for-profit, and it can be a struggle. You told me how much it costs, the investment in putting on a show, a production, and I had no idea.
There's a lot, behind the scenes, knowing what all it takes.
You guys do such quality work, and that's what you want to do. You bring in professionals. This isn't just some show that, by volunteers. Not saying that Civic Theater Volunteer is not good, but you take it to another level that bring the people in.
Yeah, with this production of Violet, we have Sydney Howard, who's starring in the title role of Violet. She is from New York City. We brought her in from New York City. We've got actors that are coming in from Chicago, from Texas, from Las Vegas, as well as local Quincy Carmen, who plays the young Violet, also title role, but young Vi. She's local, so it's a great. We love the opportunity to be able to combine local talent, which is amazing talent we have here in Indianapolis and the central Indiana area, along with talent in all of the markets around the nation that help to just continue to raise the bar for our productions and for our patrons.
And you bring in the directors and.
Yep, but Richard J. Roberts, wonderful director. He's been with us many times before, with actually some of the most notably acclaimed productions, whether it was My Fair Lady or 39 Steps. So many great shows that Richard has been at the helm, and he's back to direct. He's the dramaturge at IRT, and so he comes up town to Carmel to direct for us, and he's directing Violet, and Nathan Perry is our music director. So both two local there, but we have brought in from out of town, like with Jane Unger, who we brought in from Portland, Oregon to direct Lombardi, or Alabama Story. And so we've been blessed to be able to bring, and through that support, like what you're talking about, that type of, it doesn't, it costs. It does cost. I was trying to explain to family members, what it's like whenever ATI puts on a show. It's basically like buying a house. I was telling my mom that. I said, ATI has basically built an entire neighborhood over the 18 years that we've been in existence. And each one of those houses Or, sometimes it's we're looking at like budgets of about $130,000. I mean, it may not be a mansion, but it's a nice house.
Not a house here in Carmel.
Yeah, depending. There's some really good ones there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does, and we do appreciate the support of our patrons and our sponsors, corporate sponsors, PedCore companies, of which we're really, really grateful. They was been with us for years, and all of our other sponsors who help us to do it. So it really is a collective community effort that takes the city backing as well as individual and those who buy the tickets.
Right.
And and it's great what you do with Podcast on the Plaza and your team over there. The home that you have right now is a Java House, and it's great to
right at the Midtown Plaza.
Midtown
Java
Plaza.
House on Elm Street.
On Elm Street.
So our backdrop is the coffee shop.
And I've been able to meet so many people.
Well, you co-hosted.
there.
You
Yeah,
mentioned
whenever Mr.
You
Worrell
filled
is
in
not
for-
able, good old
right.
Jeff. We love Jeff
You
Worrell.
filled in for me before too.
That was a one-time thing, and those were big
And you're
big
like,
shoes to fill.
nobody can be Sam.
But you're more than just the executive producer and co-host of Podcast on the Plaza. You're a wonderful, a very successful businesswoman who owns a variety of different businesses in the area. You're the founder and CEO of Roundabout Fitness. You are a flexologist at Stretch Lab right up there at 146th Street, right next to
Right next
Handles.
to
You get your
Handles.
ice cream at
Everybody knows
Handles, and then you get stretched out at Stretch Lab, which is really great. If you've ever been to Stretch Lab, check it out. It's you'll feel like a new person when you walk out. And then you're also a certified personal trainer. And besides being a very successful businesswoman, you're also a wonderful mother of 9 beautiful children. So that in and of itself is its own major undertaking and business to run. I can't imagine
It is a
how you run
business.
that type of household.
It is. You learn to delegate.
Mhm. They're amazing.
We are a work in progress, but for the most part, you do have to learn how to manage time and schedules
Yes.
and things that you're forced into it, and that by 20 some years of doing that has helped me in the business world and being more efficient. And then of course, just physical fitness itself helps you to be more efficient and work smarter, not necessarily harder.
That makes sense. Well, I want to talk a moment about because I do want to highlight this musical that we have coming up that we're in rehearsals right now. We open again October 28th and close November 13th at the Studio Theater at the Center for the Performing Arts. You can get tickets at 317-843-3800, or you can go to our website at atistage.org. So the journey for the musical Violet, it's set in 1964. It's right during it's in the Deep South in North Carolina. It starts in North Carolina. It's right during the Civil Rights Movement, and this young child named Violet, unfortunately, she gets disfigured through an accident that happens. And as she grows up, she has a very strong faith, and as she comes to know this televangelist through the television. And she saves up her money, and she decides to take a journey across the country from North Carolina to end up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and to hope in the hopes of her hope staying alive to be healed. And so on that journey, she's on a bus, and I think that like I said earlier, all of us are on whether it's a metaphorical or a literal journey following that, and each of us, it's like she gets on a bus by herself, alone, but then she takes this journey with all these other people that she doesn't even know, and through that journey, and then by the end, she steps off that bus alone. But what transpires in the course of that journey helps change her and change others around her. And finding that same type of thing, the journey that you've been on through all of this. I mean, did you start wanting to have all these type of businesses? Did you know at the beginning, or was it through, like for Violet, something happened to her and she made a decision to go on a journey, right? Mm-hmm. And through that, she experiences so much, and through that we experience it through her. How about you with your, I mean, did the same type of thing happen, or had you always wanted physical fitness was always a big part of your life, that you were like always drawn to that? How did you get, because most of that has an underlying theme, whether it's of being a flexologist, a certified personal trainer, the roundabout fitness that you have going on, and then through that connecting with others. Talk about that and how you came to that journey, or that journey brought you there.
Yeah. If we focus like just on the physical fitness, that was not important to me. I was busy raising children and homeschooling, and I would take walks and things like that to help with anxiety. I pray a lot. Nothing seemed to really relieve me from the anxiety, and I was like, God, what am I supposed to do? And I can't keep doing this. And it was during a time with there were terrorist attacks and school shootings, and I was just worried for my kids in the future, and just constant worry. And God told me to join a gym, and I didn't want to join a gym. So I thought people who went to gyms were selfish and spending too much time on their bodies and vain. You know, that was my picture of that, because of early 80s, that's what you saw. That was, Richard
Let's
Simmons.
Get physical.
Yeah, there was a certain universal image I think a lot of people have about working out. But I did what he said, and ended up being life-changing. And the anxiety went away, and I met other people that were just like me, who had, things, they were busy, were just trying to get better physically. So I started working out with the power team, got stronger, started helping other people, and I thought, this is what I need to be doing, because it helped me so much to clear my mind. I was happier. One of the pictures I use for Roundabout Fitness is a picture that my daughter drew, and you can find that on our Roundabout Fitness Facebook page. And then also there's more to the story. There's a book coming out next month called You Are That Temple, and my story is in that book.
Okay,
so
yeah.
there's like 23 other stories of faith and fitness, but so I wasn't looking towards that. But then as I continue meeting people on this journey, I had a client that I was training down at Better Bodies downtown on the Circle, and she was like, okay, I'm getting this physical fitness down. I have a good routine. She's like, now I just wish somebody could help me with my finances. So I happen to be friends with a guy who's a financial advisor and a nutrition coach, and I'm like, well, I could probably connect you two. And I always connected the physical and financial together anyway.
Yeah, talk about that, because I think that's really important. People don't really think. They think about the physical.
The reason I had gone through Financial Peace University, and I started looking at money coming in and going out, same with calories coming in and going out, and the discipline. So I tell people, you step on the scale, the two things you don't want to look at is the scale and your bank account. Right?
That's very difficult. Both things are very difficult, especially these days.
Yeah, but they're the two things you can control to some extent. You can control how much you're eating, and you can control how much you're spending. So it's like taking that mindset and combining the two disciplines. And when you do that, it helps your mental health, because you know you're on the right track. You know you're doing things to improve what the number is on the scale and what it is in the bank account. And you're making every effort towards that. And when you are making progress in that, and you know you're doing your best, then mentally you're stronger, and you're able to handle the things that come at you in life a lot better. If you are physically not doing well, financially not doing well, and then the next thing you know, you're living through some other life event, but you have these two things just already weighing you down, it's going to be that much harder to go through that life event. Sure. So my goal with Roundabout Fitness is to help people by using other local people in the industry of fitness and finances, and to strengthen those areas so that they can be mentally strong for anything that comes at them in life. And that's what happened to me, and that kind of catapulted me even more. Had I not gone to that gym and gotten myself in great physical shape, I went from a size 8 to a size 6 to a size 0. And within 6 months, just lifting weights and following my macros. And then after that, I had something happen that was extremely devastating. And I just kept thinking, thank God I'm in good shape. physically and financially. And I remember just going out and running to burn off the anger and the sadness that I had going on. And then I was able to turn around and pour into others and help them, and that helped me to get through that time as well. So things happen. We can't, I love the saying, the only thing constant is change.
True, yeah.
So there are things going to happen, and especially like with COVID. A lot of people weren't mentally ready for that, and there was a lot of depression and a lot of drinking going on, and that's when Roundabout Fitness was formed, because I had my Facebook group, and I would have professionals come in. I had a psychiatrist come in and do a live Q&A on the Facebook group and talk about why people who work out are happy, who have better mental or better mindset, and his thing was because they have a routine. Of course, physically we have hormones and things that help us to be happier and they can be activated through exercise. But and that's been proven time and again. Like they've done comparisons with exercise and antidepressants, having the test groups, and they found that ones who exercise had just as good results as those who took the medication. One doesn't have side effects other than feeling great and looking good, but the other one has quite a few side effects. But so this psychiatrist I met in a gym, he's a professor at IU. He's been like an advisor for Roundabout Fitness. That was really important to show people. So it's not about, I can't fit in these jeans. It's about what can you do to your mental health to be able to get through the things that are happening in your life. And then I have financial advisors talk about the importance of the discipline and having a goal, and how that ties in. But just knowing that you're keeping track of things helps you mentally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was all of that. Just kind of, and then meeting people along the way that helped to form it, and then through Synergize, I met so many people, and so I have a team of mental health, my mental health team, my physical fitness team, and my financial fitness team. But a lot of that came through being a part of Synergize, and then, but I couldn't do all the things that I do if it hadn't been for getting physically fit to begin with. I just would not be here.
So sometimes those challenges that life throws at us, there's a lot of silver linings that can be coming out of that.
Oh yes.
By sending us on that journey.
Absolutely. And when you are physically fit and your blood flow is strong and that's getting into your brain, it helps you to see those silver linings. And that's why it's so important. You can have a really crappy day and you can go and exercise, and all of a sudden, and I'm talking like a more intense exercise, a walk just doesn't cut it. It's got to be something, you're getting that heart rate going, you're getting the blood flow going. And then all of a sudden that crappy day, well, it wasn't that bad. And will this happen? And maybe tomorrow this is what I'm going to do. But just the blood flow, that's why as a flexologist, we stretch people, we're improving that blood flow. And that's why people love it. I mean, it's life-changing for them. I talked to someone today, and she said she just feels happier since she started going there. And I said, it's the increase in blood flow. Or you just like us, because we're just nice. But anyway, that too. But yeah, so when you do that, when you make those physical changes, you will see things differently. And it just, our bodies are just amazing when we take care of them, and our bodies take care of us.
Take care of us. Well, and in the industry for performing arts, we are our instrument, and not just for performing arts. It's in general. However you're going to do whatever your walk of life is, you want to keep yourself in shape to do so. And the same thing. It's the success is the definition of success is preparation meets opportunity for many of us. And when we think about that, as far as why didn't we get the gig? Are you ready at that moment? And you want to keep your tools sharpened to do so. So fitness is important, but having the idea, adding that level of the financial and the mental wellness to go along with it, I love that. I think those three components are so vital, especially having how they all work together to make it stronger. And well, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for sharing with everybody about what you do. Thank you for also being a great advocate for the City of Carmel, for all of the arts organizations in Carmel. I've been able to get to know a lot of other people from behind the scenes through you, through Synergize. Check out Synergize as well if you guys are interested. It's a wonderful group. I think that there's only, what is it? It's all about relationships over everything. It's not about handing out your business cards. That's a byproduct that eventually happens down the road once you get to know who people are. But really, it's just about not being a jerk.
That's important.
No jerks allowed, and relationships over everything. And that's really what all we're trying to do. All of us who get on that bus by ourselves, we get to meet people that we didn't know originally. And hopefully our lives are a lot better by the time we get to that destination and step off the bus by ourselves again. So thank you so much. Come check out Violet. It's a wonderful experience. You're going to love all sorts of styles of music. It starts in North Carolina, bluegrass of the hills of North Carolina, travels through Nashville. You got country music in Nashville, ends up in Tulsa, Oklahoma at a big revival. There's gospel music, and there's all sorts of other styles of music along the way, and a beautiful story talking about hope and beauty and love and courage and what it means to come together and what start out as an outsider, but then come together and learn from each other. Take a look at us October 28th to November 13th at the Studio Theater at the Center for the Performing Arts, the musical Violet. 317-843-3800 or atistage.org. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Lunch Break with ATI. Thanks, Sam.